Welcome back to True Path, the 13-week system that teaches you to go from where you are to where you want to be in life. So at this point, you now have goals, some solid goals that you've created, you've broken them down, and you define them. So you now understand what they look like, and you have broken them down into manageable steps, all the way down to daily steps. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take those things that you want most in life, the goals, and we're going to start implementing them into your life. How are we going to do this? First, we're going to look at the monthly sheets. Okay, and the monthly sheet, I'm going to minimize myself. So you have the monthly outlook here, and this is going to describe some of the sections within the sheet: the calendar, the month in review, the to-dos, the goal setting, obviously this month, your mindset, habits and reminders, distractions to avoid, and most excited. These are the sections that we're going to talk about right now. And some of these sections are going to repeat in the weekly and the daily sheets as well. So right now we're looking at the month, okay? Now you don't have to wait to the first to start this. And that's why this is undated. As you can see, there are no dates on here. You get to put them in. So if you're starting on the 15th, or you're starting on the 18th, or you're starting on the 21st, or the 7th, or whatever it may be, start now. That's the point. Otherwise, we're going to do what we've done our entire life, and that's procrastinate. And then a year later, you're going to be like, oh, I probably should start that. So start today, no matter where you are, put in whatever date is, and then put in the date and start working it in. We're going to go up here. I'm going to blow this up. So we're going to start left, top left, all the way to the bottom right. And that's just how all of the sheets work. And that's how we naturally read. That's how we naturally learn. So to begin, we're going to look at last month. Okay, so this is your last 30 days of your life, and you're going to look at it. It's a month in review. And so what this means is, in this gray box, pretty much anytime you see a gray box like this, except for these ones, you're going to put in a score between 1 and 10. So you're going to think about your month, last month, and you're going to give yourself a score between 1 and 10. How was it? If it was a pretty good month, maybe it's a 7. If it was a horrible month, maybe it was a 2 or 3. Obviously, 1 is the worst, 10 is the best, okay? Once you put in that score, why? Remember, we talked about whys and how important they are. Why are you giving it that score? Don't just give it a score and move on. You have to understand why you're giving it that score, okay? So write in a few words, maybe a sentence to describe why you gave it that score. And then learn. This is what True Path is all about, learning. Learning about yourself, learning about your life, learning how you work best. So write in here, what did you learn last month? Take some time, think about it. It can be a fact, it can be, something, but usually when we're talking about learning, we're talking about ourselves. So think about last month, and maybe there was something, maybe you were up and down, maybe you want to be more consistent, maybe you work better if you're more consistent. And that's what you learned. You're like, I work better if I'm more consistent. So that could be something you learned last month. Then over here in this section, the to-do section, this is simply writing in to-dos. If you have a doctor's appointment that month, or you need to take your car in for service, it can be just about anything. And this is your True Path, and you get to make it your own. So they're your to-dos. So depending on your life, you can write in however you want. And as you go along, you're going to adjust on how you write in your True Path. And it's going to make it your own. And soon your to-dos will be a no-brainer to you. So that's the to-do section. Then on the bottom, you're going to see this is goal 1, goal 2, and then over here is goal 3. And of course, these are your goals that you've written down. You just picked out those 3 main goals. So you're going to put your goals, you're going to first write down your goals. And when you pick a name for your goal, pick a cool name. Don't just pick, health or whatever, pick body or Mr. and Mrs. America or whatever you want, something that's going to resonate with you so that when you do write it, because you'll be writing your goal every single day, you want it to mean something. So try and pick a name that's going to have some sort of impact on you. Because this is 30 days, this is the next month. You want to write in what you're going to do, what you need to do. And you can go back to the goal breakdown section, which I'll show you here, right here. So you can go back to the month right here. This section right here is going to tell you whatever your goal was, what you need to do and where you need to be in order to be on track for that goal. So that's what you want to write in underneath your goal, right in here under these guys. Got it? All right. So then moving on to the right side, we have this month. So whatever month it is, and if it's in the middle of a month, it could be January 15th to February 15th or however you want to do it. Mindset. What's your mindset going to be for this month? So your mindset is basically your intention. So how do you want to go into this month? So we talked about, like, say last month was inconsistent for you. You were up and down and you want to be more consistent. Maybe your mindset this month is consistency, or it could be happy. If you had a really bad last month and you just want to be happier, that's your mindset. It's something that you're kind of putting into your brain and you're saying, this is how I'm going to be this month. It could be driven, it could be successful, it can be anything you want. Then we move on to habits and reminders. This is a big section for a reason, because as I told you in the beginning, this thing is all about goals, habits, and mindfulness. You have to create the correct habits in order to reach the goals you want in life. So at this point, you're looking at your month. You want to pick out a few things. Maybe it's just one thing at this stage that you want to develop or you want to change. Just so you know, the latest study says a habit takes 66 days on average to create. Now, this depends on the habit and this depends on the person. Okay, so, say drinking a glass of water in the morning. Maybe it takes you 22 days to develop that, because that's an easy one. Maybe it takes me 18. It just depends on the habit and it depends on the person. But I will tell you one thing about habits, and it's all about consistency. That's all it is. You're creating a habit, something that you do naturally. Let me read you. I'm actually going to read you what it says under habits and what a habit is. So a habit is a routine or behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. Habits can take us through our days, our weeks, months, and even years without realizing we have fallen slave to them. And this is so true. And so, again, this is all about learning about ourselves. And the more you learn, the more you uncover, and the habits will surface and you'll be like, wow, I've been doing that for so long. And going back to the habit and reminder section. So maybe, one of your goals or one of your habits that you want to do might be, maybe you want to start flossing. Maybe you brush your teeth, but you don't floss and you think you should floss. That could be a habit that you want to get into. And therefore, you're going to need to set reminders. We're going to get into that in how to create habits and then also how to change them later. I just want you to know that the habits are such an important part of what we're doing here because it's such an important part of you. So learning your habits, understanding your habits, and this is where the mindfulness comes in, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Being aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. That unfolds the habits that you are currently doing, and then you can start to adjust them the way you want. So the habit and reminder section is an extremely important section, and you can, again, write in whatever you like, whatever you would like to develop, whatever you would like to change. And then as we get into the weekly and the dailies, we're going to go dive deeper into the habits and how we're going to work with those. So then to finish up the month, we have distractions to avoid on the bottom here, and then most excited about. So distractions to avoid, maybe you are going on a vacation this month. Maybe for 7 days you're taking a trip. That could be a distraction to your goals. That is basically what the distraction is. It's a distraction that's going to get you away from your goals and you accomplishing what you want to do. Vacation's great, but at the same time, there's also ways to go enjoy your vacation, but also not completely derail. So if health is a goal of yours, a lot of times when you go on vacation, you throw everything out the window and you eat, 3 cheesecakes and, the all you can eat buffets or whatever it is, and you don't work out. There's ways to get around that. There's ways to maybe do a small little workout on your vacation each day. Not big, just something small. It's something that keeps you in the routine, which creates the habits that keeps you going and gives you the momentum to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So that's a distraction to avoid. And then most excited, maybe that is also the vacation if you're having a vacation. So most excited is whatever it is to you, whatever is coming up this month that you're excited about. And it's great to put something in here because it does give you something to look forward to. We want to be as positive as possible, in our lives, period. So that's the monthly section. This is your overview of your next 30 days. So get into it, start writing in, the dates and, the month, and start getting the stuff down. And then when you're done with that, I will see you in the next section when we start talking about the weeklies.